Coming this week, only on Patreon. What was the? I guess I owe you. I'm sure I owe you extra large, whatever meat lovers, meat supreme, whatever pizza you wanted. So, what was the bet originally? How whether he was going to shit on him immediately or?
Yeah, I mean, I think we had a couple bets going. I can't remember all of them, but
Yeah,
obviously we knew he was going to make it about himself.
sure.
I think it still has. I still haven't won the bet because I was saying that I was saying after his mom dies, he's going to start talking about his own mortality and
Oh.
start playing mind games about his inheritance. So I don't think we're quite at that point yet, but
Okay, maybe I owe you a slice.
yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, first clip is called "Earth to Earth Dog Fred." Do you read me?
Watch this, Robin. I'm going to jump out the window. Here I go.
That's a little too much excitement.
Here I go. Fred, we rehearsed this. Where is the window jumping sound effect? There it is. All right. Hey-oh. And glass breaks as I jump out the window. See, I hit the ground and I ran into a glass thing.
What? I thought you jumped out.
I don't know. My eyes are popping out of the sockets right now. I'm with excitement for this broadcast. I can't tell you.
That's the intro on the first day back from 2 fucking months off.
It's like a headache.
Yeah.
It's like being inside a headache. Like, what is going on? This whole
that shit sound effect.
like Fred's not there. Howard's explaining the bit, but he doesn't understand it. And then Robin is chiming in and she doesn't get that was just a headache.
That's right. Number 2, Robin's. I know I clipped this because Robin's audio quality is such shit. It really is like one of those Logitech webcam sounds from the 1990s
Right.
with the big lumpy webcams. It's Robin calling in from NORAD.
Make sure you get in what you want to do. And you know what? I did nothing but I painted and I sat around the house. I relaxed. I was with my wife. But
I've heard people say that same thing about retirement. Don't just leave your job without a plan.
Doesn't she sound muffled? Almost like she's got tissue over the mic?
Yeah, but I'm sitting here thinking, how is that different than what you always do, Howard?
Well, yeah, that was the other thing. I
sat around my house and painted and hung out with my
traced.
wife. What else? What do you do otherwise? Pretty sure that's all you do.
More recent shows we're going to cover. Raven's been clipping, and we're going to want somebody, me and someone is going to definitely do more breakdowns because he, and they'll have to be Patreon episodes, guys, because every time he comes back, anything that's sort of celeb related or anything he thinks is going to be a major media hit, they ID tag. But if it's just cleaning out the computer shit, they don't give a crap about. And so it's able to get out on YouTube, so we can release some of that stuff. But Jimmy Kimmel gave him shit. David Letterman gave him shit recently.
Yeah,
I love that. I can't wait to cover that part.
You know, I haven't read too much about that, but I've seen the headlines. I saw, Jimbo Bimbo and him have some kind of issue right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately everybody gets he always ruins everything. So why should this be any different, even for sycophants like Jimmy?
Yeah.
The number 3. Thank you to my vast army of fan who were waiting for me.
Well, good morning to you. Where the fuck do I begin after 2 months away? I mean, there is so much going on.
Can you go back 2 months and tell us the whole thing? Or do you have to start backward?
I will. I tell you what, let me try in this opening of the show, now that we are back live, back with our friends.
Hi-oh.
And it's good to know you are all here. And by the way, thank you for the many nice notes. Hey, Howard, we miss you. Can't wait for you to come back. All that stuff. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
No one gave a fuck about him. No one. In fact, Ben, just recently, who hosts with us, he does Colford with us, and he's going to be contributing more often. We hope this year. He just canceled his Sirius. He just told me he got so fed up with just the first hour of the show being so fucking repetitive that he finally canceled because he didn't listen to Sirius for anything else.
The first hour back, or just
Like any like he just the latest show since he came back, it's been so repetitive, and I go, well, that's no different than the last 10 years, really.
dude,
But he says it's worse than ever.
I don't know how anyone like. The funny thing is you could go, well, you're hearing the cherry picked clips, but it's like these are the most interesting clips of the whole show. Like, what the fuck is the rest of the show like? It has to be horrible, man.
They're about as interesting as molten metal. I mean, in fact, I disagree. I think watching metal being melted is far more interesting than Stern at this point. But I'm saying there's no draw. There's nothing to bring you into this show. It's just morning zoo shit of the worst type. And there's a disconnect between even Howard and Fred and Robin. You can hear it, and it's partly because they are online and they're not face to face anymore. I think there is something to being face to face with people and talking to them. It's a different type, just
Definitely.
nuance, everything. I mean, you can webcam
Yeah.
with people like we're doing and make it sound, you can make it sound as inviting as possible, but I don't think it's a substitute for face to face stuff.
Not at all. It's a
Yeah.
different energy. And I've noticed that too with just the podcast world, like listening to O&A and Howard Stern. Like there was an energy to being that early in new
Mhm.
downtown Manhattan and hopped up on coffee and you're seeing other people. Like I noticed a lot of other podcasts, like it has kind of a deadness to it because it doesn't have all the live shit going on, all the people in the office, and you're not seeing the person. Yeah, I mean that makes a big difference just to the energy of a show, for
Yeah.
sure.
The next clip, guys, is called "Throwing Ben's Corpse into Another Trump Rant," and in between the whole eulogy, and I'm not going to go. It's not a political thing. I don't want to hear Howard talk about any politics, left, right, middle. I don't give a flying fuck. But either way, he could not resist throwing in more Trump shit. Trump's not been president for how many years now? Like
Dude,
what?
what?
Like,
He
are we
tied
still?
his dad dying into Trump?
He crowbarred a Trump rant into you'll hear it when you hear it. He made some bullshit story about interviewing his dad and why, and he said, "Oh, my family moved to the United States out of freedom for freedom." And I don't believe he did. I don't believe Ben said this. I don't believe he might have interviewed him about some things, but I don't believe this was anything about it. And then he decided, oh, it's a time for a Trump rant. Perfect crowbar. That's how he segued into it.
Okay.
We'll talk about my father who died over the summer, but I don't want to get into it right this second. But I once was talking to my father. I interviewed him for a documentary I made for my children. I said, while my father's still got half a brain, let me talk to this guy and put him down on tape so that, future generations of Sterns or whatever,
can see where they came from.
So, yeah. And then I said, maybe I should destroy the tape. But my father, I once said to him, what I forget how we got into it on the tape, but I was talking about, why did your ancestors come over to this country? What was it? And he talked about, the answer was freedom.
And so he goes into this Trump rant that I cut. I don't want to have to fucking go through that shit in coal mine. And it was just desperate and really, really stupid. And because anyway, it's just boring and ultimately boring, guys. That's why I'm not going to play it. However, even the discard, like while he's got half a brain, like you were shocked when I sent you some of these clips. I don't think I don't think I sent you this one.
You sent me part of this one.
Okay, yeah.
I heard the part where he was like, yeah, while he has half a brain. First off, this dude is ice cold, man.
Yep.
He doesn't feel for anybody at all.
Right.
Because if you've seen people when you see someone, especially a parent or just anyone who's impactful on your life and they have a neurodegenerative condition, it's one of the hardest things you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine saying, yeah, while he still has half a brain. That's not something you say about a person in that scenario. And then
Now,
on top of that, he
yeah,
takes a sneak shot at his dad's legacy, going, yeah, in case Stearns, like basically saying, we're a legacy of garbage,
yeah, maybe I should throw it out.
and this is his legacy because he was garbage. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
just throw it away. Like that's NPD.
yeah,
Straight up, like
yeah.
just tarnishing his name. Like he didn't come out right and say it, but that's what he's saying, really.